Please welcome Ed Asner. I've never had someone actually come in on the intro. That's good. It's very courageous of you.
Oh, well, I get bored with those intros. I really do.
Right.
I've heard them before, and it's nice to get over them as quickly as possible. So I thought I would levitate it a little.
Good. Thank you for wearing a sport jacket here. You know, whenever I think about you, I always think of you wearing either a sport jacket or a suit. It's something
The
about
suits
your
don't
nature.
fit anymore, so I went to the sport show. And
Do you ever wear like a V-neck sweater?
oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't see.
I've got great cleavage. Would you like to see it?
Perhaps after the show.
That would be even better.
You often play authority figures, whether it's cops or doctors or so on.
Mm-hmm.
Was there always
Rabbis.
Was there always something about you in your nature as an actor that kind of gave off that feeling of authority?
Well, when you get beat up a lot, you try to find a way to avoid it. So you beef yourself up and you give yourself a husky, hearty type voice. You act macho, and it tends to ward off a lot of aggression.
You also seem very serious, and yet you're so funny. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you laugh once, ever on television. Do you laugh in your private life?
Oh, yes. Why, I was, what, you heard? Oh, yes, when I get up in the morning and I look at how well endowed I am, Lordy me! And I get a laugh out of that, and then as the day proceeds, as I perform my ablutions, various things tickle me.
You, of course, were in the movie Elf. You played Santa Claus with opposite Will Ferrell,
Yes.
and Santa Claus is, of course,
Well
John.
endowed. Yeah, he's very well endowed. Well, up in the north, that's all you got, you know.
How did you approach that character, playing Santa Claus? Did you like?
Well, it's very well written. It had some wonderful jokes attached to it, and I got to tell you, Will Ferrell was so intensively into his character that I didn't have time to screw around. I had to sink myself into the character as written for me and as directed by Jon Favreau. And I couldn't have strayed from mano a mano with Will because he was so intensively in his character.
Huh. See, a lot of people think he just goes there and wings it.
No,
He's very serious about his craft.
He wasn't there to play stand-up, let me tell you. He was there to act and he acted the hell out of that part.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think the character of Lou Grant resonated so well with the public?
Because he was so well endowed.
That was not the answer I was expecting, but it's interesting.
I never had it would affected that way.
You had amazing chemistry with Mary Tyler Moore. Did you know that like right away? Did you know that like right away, or was that something that just kind of evolved as you guys were working together?
It evolved. I did my reading with her as instructed by the producer-writers and read it like an idiot, like a crazy idiot. And years later I found out that when I read it that way with her and left the room, she turned to the producers and said, "Are you sure?" And they said, "That's your Lou Grant." So we began working, and very quickly we wrapped.
Huh.
We dovetailed.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Haven't you?
Yeah, I guess everything you've said is personal up to this point. If you were single at the time and Mary Tyler Moore was single, were you physically attracted to her?
That ugly thing? Why would I waste my time?
Well, I think everybody questioned that when they watched it. You know, they
No, I spent 7 years lusting for her. What are you talking about? Everybody did. And then I was so pleased that in the last year of the show they decided to finally bring us together, and we kiss in it on a date, and we burst out laughing, and in my mind and in my heart, I said, "You dirty bastards!" They made it turned our love into a joke.
You wanted to be from here eternity, right? On the
Yes,
beach,
on
right.
the beach. Yeah.
Right.
They couldn't afford the sand though. But I wanted her very badly. I guess now you know. Huh?
Yeah, thank you. A recurring bit on The Tonight Show is a bit they do, does this impress Ed Asner? And a bunch of people, have you seen this, where they try to impress you?
I've seen that.
You have. Which of those do you remember the most?
Well, the old broad who came on and did the splits, she was, oh my God, she was fantastic. And I told her that I was going to be keeping an eye out for her. I appreciated that limberness.
I'll tell my mom you appreciated her.
Please do.
You've won seven Emmys,
Yeah.
a bunch of Golden Globe Awards. Where do you keep these? Do you have like a room where you store these?
There are shelves. I'm renting a house right now. And you see, the thing about the Emmys and the Golden Globes, they don't have the solidity of the Oscar. Oscar is just a big piece of metal.
They're not durable. They're not durable.
Boom. Yeah, the Emmys fall apart. The Golden Globes deteriorate. You got to periodically go down and take them back to the manufacturer and get new ones or get those repaired.
I'm so glad we don't have any of those. Pain in the neck.
You speak the truth. You should be very relieved.
Tell us some of the current projects that you're working on.
Well, once we get past my endowments, I just did a picture in New York called Gigantica with John Goodman and Zoe Deschanel and Jane Alexander and Paul Dano, and it felt like a very good picture.
You know, Jack Newworth, who's a friend of this show, has a project called The Amazing Mr. Z.
He certainly does.
It's about an 80-year-old superhero, and I understand you might be playing that.
I would love to. I would love to. It's The Amazing Mr. Z, which stands for Zupperman, and somehow or other, people find that great physical acts are performed while this guy is around. And it turns out that he very frankly says it's not Superman, it's Superman. And he's
a Jewish superhero.
Yes, he tries to put the lie to the idea of Superman and show that Superman really exists. It's a very funny, wonderful story about this little old Jew who is Superman.
Would you mind doing a promo for us into this camera? I'm Ed Asner. You're watching The John Kerwin Show.
I don't like that camera. I've never liked him since I came on the show.
Unfortunately, that's what we're stuck with.
He has an evil Asiatic look to him. Yes, I don't know. Oh, yeah, no, it's not. He's Jewish. Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, what do you want me to say?
I'm Ed Asner.
Are you? You do a very poor job of it.
I'm Ed Asner, and you're watching The John Kerwin Show, however you like to say that.
I'm Ed Asner, and you're watching The John Kerwin Show. He's a punk with spunk.
Thank you for coming on the show. Ed Asner, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Kevin Sorbo. Stay tuned.